Okay, 2.6, the last section of chapter 2, which is solving equations. Remember, the difference between an expression and an equation is the equal sign. Okay, that's key. I should have said this first way down here. The goal. What's the goal? The goal is to isolate the variable, to get that variable, that letter, on one side of the equal sign just by itself. Isolate means get it by itself. You're isolated. There's nothing by you. It just looks like an X or an N or an A. It just looks like that. It's by itself. There's nothing else there, okay? That's the goal, and you want to prefer it on the left-hand side. We'll talk about that. How do you do it? The very basics in this, and by the way, when we start into chapter 3, on Saturday, we're going to talk about how we continue this, okay? Which is, number one, I want to add or subtract before you multiply or divide. You're saying, well, that goes against my order of operations. It does. When you're solving equations in algebra, you literally are thinking to yourself, it's opposite day. It's opposite day. I have to do things in reverse that I didn't think I was going to be able to do. So here's what I'm going to do. Add or subtract before you multiply or divide. And we'll go do some examples to show that. And you want balance in that equation on the equal. The equal sign is kind of like the middle. So you want to keep things balanced, okay? Whatever you do to one side, you got to do to the other. I'll explain it. These two are key, knowing that this is my goal. That's my goal. These two things are key. So let's talk a couple examples, okay? Let's talk about this one. X minus 2 is equal to -1. Goal. I got to get the x by itself. I got to get everything away from it. Isolate the x, get everything away from it. Remember what I said. You got to add or subtract before you multiply or divide. But remember what I said, it's opposite day. So if it says -2, you do the opposite of minus, which is plus. +2. Remember I said balance. Keep things balanced. Whatever you do to one side of the equal sign, you got to do to the other. So if you +2 here, you got a +2 here. Notice, opposite, if it says add, you subtract. If it says subtract, you add. If it says multiply, you divide. If it says divide, you multiply. Do the opposites. And do it to both sides of the equal sign, okay? Draw a line, look at this. -2 + 2, what happens? Well, it goes away. That's what you want it to do. It goes away. What are you left with? Well, just x. Well, that's isolated. When -1 + 2 goes into that whole thing of you got a negative and a positive, subtract the 2, 2 minus 1, which is 1. Use the sign of the bigger number. That's my answer. How can I check it? How can I check it? Is 1 a solution? So I'm going to draw this back up. X minus 2 is equal to -1. What if I said, is 1 a solution? Well, let's plug it back in. Put 1 in. 1 minus 2 equals -1. Notice all I did is I plugged this in here. I just plugged it in. Does this work? 1 minus 2, a positive and a negative. Subtract them. Use the sign of the bigger number. Well, yeah, that's the answer. Do you have to check all these? Absolutely not. Nope. Nope. Let's look at this one. -8 is equal to n + 1. I want to isolate this guy by getting everything away from it. Everything's got to go away from that guy, that variable. By doing the opposites, what I see a +1. Do the opposite. -1. This is the middle. Do whatever on one side, you got to do the other, -1. Well, these go away and I'm just left with n. Okay, cool. That's what I want. Isolated, win. -8 minus 1, you got two negative numbers. You just add them together. Two negatives, 8 and 1, which is 9. Answer's -9. Now remember, I want to prefer it I want the variable on the left-hand side. Now notice, this says, by the way, that's a 9 and that's an n. Just flip them. N equals -9. I just reverse the order. That's the preferred method. That's what I want. Let's just talk a couple of the multiplying or dividing things. We're really, let's talk a couple of those and then we will be done. Because then we'll talk a lot more about these equations. This is algebra. This is now getting into algebra. If I gave you something that looked like this, -5x equals 15. The goal. isolate the variable. Isolate the x by getting everything away from. Notice that's in front of it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I just want it to be x, nothing else. That's negative 5 times x. Everybody agree? Yeah. Well, you better. Negative 5 times x. Remember, it's opposite. Do the opposite. What's the opposite of multiplying? Divide. Divide by negative 5. But remember, balance. Whatever you do to one side, you got to do to the other. Well, notice those cancel out. A negative 5 divided by negative 5 is 1. A negative 10 divided by negative 10 is 1. 20 divided by 20 is 1. Okay? I'm just left with x. That's a win. That's a win, by the way. Is there a 1 in front of that x? Yes. Yes, there is. That's okay. You don't have to write it, but it's there. 15 divided by negative 5. A positive divided by a negative gives you a negative. Negative 3. That's the idea behind saying, hey, by the way, I got to, let's just do one other quick one. Negative 12, let's call it A, is equal to negative 36. Well, now, hopefully you get into a pattern by saying, oh, divide, you got to do the opposite. Cancel out A, that's what I want, that's good. A negative divided by a negative gives you a positive. 36 divided by 12, which is 3. All right. We will do a lot more of these because, again, this gets into chapter 3. We do a whole lot of, we keep building on algebra. Algebra is building blocks just like every math. So that's this video.